you ever heard of the Tetris effect? How about game transfer phenomenon? Well, if you haven't, it'd be good for you to know because it's actually quite concerning. So welcome to Media Discernment. My name is Jason. Here we talk about everything having to do with screens, whether it be video games or social media or movies or TV shows or what have you. Today we're talking about game transfer phenomenon. If you haven't heard of it, here's what it is. It is a psychological phenomenon that occurs when gamers experience sensory perceptions, thoughts, or behaviors that are directly related to playing video games. These can include seeing game elements in the real world, hearing game sounds, or even feeling the physical sensations associated with in-game actions. So basically what's happening is the gamers are experiencing what they are in the game, but in the real world. So they're seeing things, they're hearing things, they're feeling things that they see, hear, and feel in the video game, but in the real world. Now, is this a good thing? Well, some of the research that I've done on this has said that, yeah, hey, this is a good thing because they're experiencing the excitement of the game. But in reality, it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. In fact, those that experience symptoms of game transfer phenomenon are oftentimes, they're not in control of these things that they're seeing or they're hearing or they're feeling. That's scary. So let's take a look at a few negative effects of game transfer phenomenon. Here's number one, disrupting sleep. Game transfer phenomenon symptoms can occur when gamers are trying to sleep, but it wakes them up, and so it leads to disrupted sleep patterns or poor sleep quality. Number two, interfering with daily activities. For some gamers, symptoms can interfere with your ability to focus on other activities or tasks, leading to decreased productivity and overall functioning. So in other words, they're having trouble in school, they're having trouble with their homework, having trouble with other responsibilities because these things they're seeing and things they're hearing are disrupting them. Also, causing distress or anxiety, because gamers may feel these symptoms and get distressed because they cannot control them. They can't stop the sensations or thoughts associated with gaming. And lastly, interfering with social relationships. Gamers may struggle to focus on conversations or activities with others when they're experiencing game-related sensations or thoughts. So imagine that. It's hard to spend time with friends when you are seeing and hearing things that aren't actually there. Yeah, that makes sense. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Jason, this is interesting, and I'm sure there's some gamers out there that are experiencing sights and sounds that are, in the game, but not in reality. But I mean, how many could that be? This can't be that common, right? It's just a few. Actually, no. So here's a few stats on how common this actually is. First of all, a study published from the Journal of Behavioral Addictions in 2016 found that 97% of gamers surveyed reported experiencing at least one symptom of game transfer phenomenon, with 45% reporting experiencing 5 or more symptoms. That's a lot. How about the International Journal of Mental Health and Addiction in 2019, and the study that they did, it found that 62% of gamers surveyed experienced visual or auditory hallucinations related to gaming, and 46% reported experiencing involuntary movements or gestures associated with gaming. Survey conducted by video game streaming platform Twitch. If you haven't heard of Twitch, it's a very popular website for gamers. In 2018, they found that 60% of respondents of their study reported experiencing game transfer phenomenon symptoms, with 53% reported seeing images or hearing sounds from games when they were not playing. Okay, so that's a lot. I mean, decision-making, impulses, mood, attitude, performance in school, in academics, social relationships can all be affected by game transfer phenomenon. So what do we do about this? What do we do, parents? What do we do, young people, when someone we know or we are experiencing game transfer phenomenon? Well, here's a few things from God's Word that can help. It has everything to do with perspective. First, let's take a look at 1 Corinthians 6:12. This is Paul. He says, all things are lawful for me, but not all things are helpful. All things are lawful for me, but I will not be enslaved by anything. So the idea here is that it's okay to play video games. We aren't saying that you shouldn't play video games, but you have to ask the question, is it beneficial? Is it beneficial for me spiritually? Is it beneficial for me mentally? And if it isn't, then you have to take some serious steps to trade the amount of time you're spending playing video games for things like your relationship with God, friendships, activities that don't involve a screen, and so on. But that first question has to be asked is this beneficial for me? Even though it's okay to play video games, it may not be beneficial for you to play video games or to play video games for as much time as you are. So that's number one. Here's another principle from God's Word. In Proverbs 25:28, like a city whose walls are broken through is a person who lacks self-control. So self-control is an interesting topic, and it's interesting how it works when it comes to God, because if you understand even a little bit how much He loves you, and that understanding goes from here and it goes to here, you will start to love Him. You'll fall in love with Him. And when you fall in love with somebody, you give your life to them. So when you give your life to Jesus, you say, you know what, Jesus, your will be done in my life, not mine. I want to do your will because you're amazing and I love you. Well, at that point, He begins to take over. In other words, your decisions are no longer your own. You leave them up to Jesus and you say, Jesus, what's best for me? Then you experience self-control. Let's look at one more, and that is Philippians 4:8. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever's true, whatever's noble, whatever's right, whatever's pure, whatever's lovely, whatever's admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. So being proactive to set your mind on things of God, okay? Spending time in His Word, spending time with other believers, worship songs, fun activities with people, getting out into God's creation and exploring things that He made. All of these things are things that you can be putting on your mind that will bear good fruit in your life, instead of so much time playing a video game that's giving you game transfer phenomenon symptoms. Hopefully that's a blessing to you. Please subscribe, share, all that good stuff, and be blessed. We'll see you next time.